The jury returned a guilty verdict. He had shot an intruder inside his own home. Now he faced life in prison. The Castle Doctrine was supposed to protect him. But what the prosecution revealed changed everything. The Castle Doctrine sounds simple. Your home is your fortress. An intruder enters, you defend yourself, end of story. But here's where it gets complicated. Every single year, homeowners who believe they're protected by this law end up sitting in prison cells. They did exactly what they thought was legal. They shot someone breaking into their home. And prosecutors convicted them anyway. The truth is, the Castle Doctrine has more loopholes than a chain-link fence. And understanding these loopholes could mean the difference between walking free and spending decades behind bars. So what exactly does this law protect? And more importantly, what doesn't it cover? The answer might terrify you. Let me put this in perspective. The Castle Doctrine originated from English common law centuries ago. The principle was sacred. A man's home is his castle, and he has no duty to retreat from it. By 2024, 46 states have some version of this doctrine on the books. But here's what nobody tells you. Each state defines it differently. Some require you to prove you genuinely feared for your life. Others demand that the intruder posed an imminent threat of death or serious bodily harm. And if you can't prove these elements beyond reasonable doubt, you're not a homeowner who defended your family. You're a defendant facing murder charges. If this is already making you rethink your home defense strategy, drop a like so I know to keep going. But let's look at this from a different angle. In 2018, a 76-year-old homeowner in Minnesota heard glass shattering at 2 in the morning. 2 teenagers had broken into his basement. He grabbed his rifle and descended those stairs. What happened next would land him in prison for the rest of his life. The prosecution argued he didn't just defend himself. He executed them. He fired multiple shots, reloaded, and fired again. The medical examiner testified that several wounds were inflicted after the victims were already incapacitated. This wasn't self-defense. This was vengeance. And the Castle Doctrine? It doesn't protect vengeance. It protects reasonable force against imminent threats. The moment that threat ends, your legal protection ends with it. Now imagine you're in that situation. It's pitch black. Your heart is pounding. You can't see who's there or if they have a weapon. How do you know when the threat has ended? This is the nightmare scenario prosecutors exploit. They have the luxury of analyzing your split-second decisions in slow motion, with perfect lighting, months after the fact. But you had milliseconds. And here's the devastating truth. Audio recordings, surveillance footage, your own 911 call, they capture everything. Every shot. Every pause between shots. Every word you spoke. Prosecutors dissect this evidence frame by frame. And if they find a 3-second gap between shots, they'll argue you had time to assess the threat was neutralized. And you kept shooting anyway. But that's not even the worst part. There's another element that destroys Castle Doctrine defenses. And most homeowners never see it coming. It's called the initial aggressor doctrine. If prosecutors can prove you in any way provoked or initiated the confrontation, your self-defense claim evaporates. Did you yell a warning? Did you advance toward the intruder instead of retreating to a safe room? Did you leave your bedroom to confront them when you could have barricaded yourself inside? Every single action you take becomes evidence. One homeowner lost his case because he walked past his family's safe room to engage the intruder. The jury decided he chose violence when he had a clear alternative. If you want to see how this ends, make sure you're subscribed. The worst cases are still coming. And this is where I need you to pay attention. There's a critical difference between the Castle Doctrine and Stand Your Ground laws that most people confuse. Stand Your Ground removes your duty to retreat in any location where you're legally present. The Castle Doctrine only applies inside your home. Step onto your porch. Different rules. Your driveway. Different rules. Your detached garage. Possibly different rules. One Texas man shot an intruder in his backyard shed and discovered the Castle Doctrine didn't extend 15 feet from his back door. The prosecution argued the shed wasn't part of his dwelling. He wasn't defending his castle. He was committing manslaughter on his own property. That distinction cost him 12 years. So here's the revelation that changes everything. The Castle Doctrine doesn't give you permission to kill. It gives you a legal defense to argue in court after you've already been charged. That distinction is everything. You will still be arrested. You will still be investigated. Your home will become a crime scene. And whether you walk free depends entirely on whether a prosecutor believes your story, whether a jury accepts your fear was reasonable, and whether your actions stopped the moment the threat stopped. The homeowners rotting in prison right now all believed they were protected. They all thought the law was on their side. And they all discovered too late that the Castle Doctrine is not a shield. It's a legal argument. And arguments can be lost. What does this mean for you? If you're a homeowner relying on the Castle Doctrine, you need to understand your specific state's requirements before you ever face an intruder. Some states require you to reasonably believe deadly force is necessary. Others require the intruder to have actually been committing a forcible felony. Know the difference. Because in that terrifying moment when glass shatters at 3 in the morning, you won't have time to consult a lawyer. The decisions you make in those few seconds will be analyzed for months, maybe years. And the Castle Doctrine will either protect you or fail you based entirely on whether your actions fit within your state's narrow legal definition. Your home may be your castle. But the courtroom is where your freedom will be decided. Now you understand why the Castle Doctrine fails so many homeowners. The law promises protection but delivers prosecution to those who don't know its limits. Subscribe for more legal breakdowns that could save your freedom. What would you do if someone broke into your home tonight? Tell me in the comments. Your answer might surprise you.